Welcome to Can Angels Fly. I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to talk about everything. Yesterday, which was March 10th, I had received or felt a lot of information. So I made quite a few videos. Let me stop before I go further because I'm just having a discussion today. I'm just talking. I should go live, but I don't have a script to follow. The announcement I like to make, the request I am making, is that anybody that is viewing this video, I ask you to subscribe to my new channel. My new channel is called Heaven's Vital Fire. Heavens with an apostrophe S, Vital Fire. My new channel will be used to talk about metaphysical issues or situations, metaphysical subjects, social situations, astrological events, etc., etc. Why have I created this other channel? It is because my channel here, Can Angels Fly Terror, is really suffering. It's suffering tremendously. I don't understand. At first, I was having considerable growth, but somehow, some way that fell off. And so I think it has a lot to do with me diving into other subject matters other than tarot reading. So I don't know when I will completely discontinue from talking about subjects outside of tarot reading on Can Angels Fly Tarot. But soon, and very soon, probably after I get 100 subscribers with the new channel, Heavens, apostrophe S, Vital Fire, that's when I'll start uploading that kind of content over there. And then at that time, I'll just resume with just tarot readings here on Can Angels Fly Tarot. So, I am requesting that any viewer and or subscriber or return viewer to subscribe to my new channel. Both channels will be up running simultaneously after I get 100 subscribers at the new one. And that new channel is Heaven's Vital Fire. Heavens has an apostrophe S, Vital Fire. End of announcement. Remember, this video is basically a discussion. The subject matter I'll be discussing is something that I saw on YouTube yesterday, and it's been titled The Event. The Event. Like the event. Okay. I end up coming past videos that cover the event. I'll talk about what the event is in a moment. Because I was actually looking for videos of people that were channeling. Yesterday, like I said, on March 10th, I got a lot of information. I had accumulated a lot of information. So I was video logging it so that I could get it out of my mind, my essence, that kind of thing. And you can tell when I'm getting a lot of information because it becomes very difficult for me to talk. And it's difficult for me to talk when I get a lot of information because it's so much stuff that is in me. So it's all jumbled up. And after I disperse it, on this platform, it makes it easier for me to then go through it. Remember, this is just a discussion if you ain't got nothing to do, you know? And if you like to know about the event, what I think I know about the event. Now, in this video, I'll be referring to old videos that I made because the event that I'm hearing about here on YouTube I believe goes back to the prophetic message I received March 6th of 2016, in which the layout was defined in the astrological energies. If you follow me, you know that I believe that the astrological energies is the language of God speaking to us who, every individual in humanity. And we, at one time, the general public, general folks didn't know that God was speaking to us. But now we know. We are learning. And so in that message, that prophetic message, March 6, 2016, I video logged the astrological layout and interpretation. And what I found was it was a prophecy, it was an instructions, a guideline, a blueprint to what would be taking place here on this earth relative to humanity. Since that time, everything has sped up. The videos that I made after that have been going directly into each chapter or category of the step-by-step blueprint to get humanity back on a good foot. Remember, this is just a discussion, so I'm just discussing everything, just everything. So, what I want to talk about now. I brought up that video, that prophetic message, because in that prophetic message, I don't remember anything about the event. I also talked about in another video a grand social mingle. I don't remember anything about what has been titled the event. Oh, I guess I got to tell you what the event seems to be about. Some are predicting that an event will happen in the month of March or soon thereafter, in which a wave, a vibration from God will descend upon this earth, the whole earth, and engulf it. And take people to a new level of awareness and enlightenment. It's like almost equivalent to when people were like on the rapture, and some people do think like it's the rapture, where people come missing off the earth, just disappear, raptured up with God. So it's like that. Or how it was with the, millennium, end of the world, double zeros, crashing all systems, computer systems, that kind of hype. It really is a hype behind this thing called the event. And I can dig the event, but I can't put a time on the event. And as I mentioned, I haven't seen the event in the information that I've been receiving. Now, I can understand that an event is occurring, but from what I am seeing, interpreting, is that like the people that I was watching on YouTube yesterday speak of the event as a sudden moment in time, that people the people of this earth, will realize, hey, something's happening. God is descended out of the sky, or like I said, the rapture sudden, where everybody knows, everybody sees, and it kind of throws the world into a frantic chaos kind of thing. Some people are a little afraid, that kind of thing. That's not what I'm seeing or interpreting relative to this thing they've labeled or titled the event. If you follow me here on my channel, I'll talk about life relative to God. Has been like watching paint dry. It is elusive. One reason, as I mentioned, was because we didn't even know the language of God. So it all eluded us. We were like in the blind, just kind of dumb. But now we're learning the language. Now we can hear God speaking. So God is always, from what I am seeing, always been moving to communicate with us. Now, God communicating with humanity was already known. How to hear from God, how to receive his messages. But that was one of those skills that was hidden from humanity, along with the other metaphysical arts or disciplines that we call or think of quite magical. We know now it's not magical. You just have to be knowledgeable about this world and what it's composed of and how you can blend it and mix it to aid or assist humanity in living longer or to destroy humanity. And so all these things we're finding out. The real important thing here is that now we know how God talks to us. And where was I going? I'm losing my line of thought, which is I'm discovering it's a part of this process that we're going through. So, just discussing, just talking, just feel like talking. I really forgot what I was saying because I'm jumping around everywhere. The event. I was going to say, okay, life, us, relative to God is like watching paint dry. You get numb, desensitized even. It was kept from us, so it wasn't meant to happen, but we were manipulated into not being able to hear and perceive God communicating with us. So the whole time humanity has been on this planet, God has been talking to us. It was removed strategically so that the populace would know. And how can I say this? God is, I'm going to say this and I'm probably going to lose my line of thought. God is so grand. He, I'll just say divine, is all. It's so big, enormous. Now, it's even greater than that because, there are no words, and that's why I got to get over here. There are no words really in this physical plane to describe the divine. But in order to communicate, I have to use that which is readily available to me, which is colossal, huge, big, all encompassing, and everything is within it. So why am I saying that? We, humanity, each individual in humanity as a whole is merely a grain of sand to the divine. So divine is not limited by time or anything like that. All of these things, including us, are within the divine. So it's a feat. I'll say, or a task for divine to communicate with us because our time is so short, limited, where he is divine, is eternal. I say that because, and I'm still talking about the event, in case you've heard of it. So we hear. Who is that? I'm making a video. So your movie over? That's Pearl? Don't mind me. We just holding a discussion. Should have went live. The event, get back online. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, what makes people think that the event will occur in a way that all of a sudden everyone hears God at the same time, or is aware of what they're experiencing all at the same time? I don't want to go back over what I talked about in the last videos when I had my experience of channeling. I actually watched that video that I entitled Channeling, and I'll tell you, it explains my experience relative to channeling and what the process looks like and what the process accomplishes. So, man, I hate when I get thrown off. Why am I making this video? To shed light on the event as labeled by some humans here on this planet. And as well as the ascension process. If you follow me, I hope you follow me. If you don't, I ask you to view some of my videos because it really is a building up to what's taking place, where we're going, et cetera, both in the physical world as well as the spiritual world. Ascension is not the only direction that we can travel. We can also descend. But people so positive without doing the work, believing that it will be graciously added unto them, and that's not the case. We do have work to do. That's why it was so important for the general public to learn how to read the messages in the stars, God communicating with us, so that we could know what's going on. Because we know that if we depend on the elite, the wealthy, those that hoarded all of those spiritual arts, gifts, knowledge, spiritual knowledge, that will still be in a blind, will be descended down further into hell and wouldn't even know why. And so it seems like divine is saying enough is enough. God dang, enough is enough. So let me awake these people. Age of Aquarius. Let me awaken humanity. First step, they ain't hearing from me. Let me teach them to hear from me. At the same time that all of this is kind of taking place simultaneously, that video I made about the prophecy video from March 6, 2016 was an event. I asked you to go find that video and watch it. That was one of the events. See, it's not just one event. All that time I've been rambling. That's what I'm trying to say. The event that the people in the world have titled it is not just one event in time. God has been continually talking to us, humanity, for the existence of mankind's existence upon this earth. Now we can hear from the divine. And the event has been taking place since the beginning of mankind. Onward. All right. So it's not just a moment in time. Now, the event also, remember I was saying that some were describing it as a energetic ball of light that comes and descends and absorbs the whole earth and everybody on it, raising their consciousness. I don't think so. Not from what I am seeing and interpreting. Now, that described experience sounds more like the channeling process, where the entity, outside entity from self, taps into a person in a clay vessel, one of us, and it's like we are a grounding tool for an entity, in this case talking about divine. So if divine has a message or something that divine wants to have accomplished in this world, divine does not have a physical body. And that's what people seem to be missing, that there are rules to this plane, and the rules don't change until divine change them. And I haven't seen anything about the rules being changed in this realm. The slightest change will cause a butterfly effect. So we would know. And that change will be deeper than something like the Mandela effect, which I've been talking about recently. Anyway, so there are rules to this realm. And God rules are him. I'm using masculine just to, make it thinner, make the whole conversation thinner. Are him. Therefore, he can set the rules however he wants. But what stands true is the rule is set for this plane, this realm. And we talk about that on this channel, all the rules to this realm and the boundaries, everything. So God himself does not come into this world like taking a physical form. Like they talk about Jesus, that ain't the case right now. God can use either one of us that he decides will be the vessel to be used. And that information, which is in a form of, it's not actually a light, using the English language. That's the best example I can give, and I see that other people give it, and it's depicted in art. But it's like a light, a bright white light. And in that light, it is energy. And that energy is the message. And that energy is poured into a vessel. And that's what I say, that's what I was talking about, the physical body, God not having a physical body, God choosing particular vessels to download, we'll call it, into a person. We ground that information. We snatch it, we can say, up out of the ether. It's directed toward us, boom, out of the ether, through the physical body and touching others, like a conductor. What's the word that... like an alternator kind of thing, an energy dispenser, a person would be. And that is what channeling is. Words are not available. How can I say the words? Words are not available when divine speaks to you. Because remember, his communications is in the stars, or it's in this energetic light, I'll say. But once that light hits a vessel, we in this physical plane, playing by these physical rules, hears that message in our own language, through our own filter. We hear so that we can get a concept. We'll get the whole concept of what is being added to us. And some of that information is for now, and some is for later. That which is for now is a message that a person can interpret and kind of put into words to share. The message that is for later is absorbed within, like we could say, a person's soul. And you don't consciously remember it. That information has to be digested. And it's like a time, what's it called? Time release medicine, that kind of time capsule release medicine. It's like that. It's stored like in the soul and is released in a timely manner until it is the message is fulfilled, whatever it is. Now, the reason why I talk about that is because all the things that I was seeing yesterday when I started looking at channeling, and it took me to this thing that people have labeled as the event, I'm like going everywhere like, whoo. So I'm not being judgmental of others in their delivery, because going way back to that video, that prophetic message of March 6th, 2016, I reported that it wasn't just me in the presence of God, it was me in the presence of God and many others in this world, not physically, but spiritually. We were all together. I could hear them. I could hear them praying. So I know that many others received the same message I did. How did they perceive it? How did they digest it? I can't say because I ain't them. So I knew that eventually I would start seeing people or running into people that was delivering this message. And it's basically the message of the re-education of humanity, the attempt to, or the offering of salvation to humanity. And everybody's going to deliver it differently because we all are different. We all have different filters created by our life. But it was some things, I guess maybe even myself, I'm confused in some aspects, like when I was viewing some folks channeling, they would have the name of the entity they were channeling. This would make me make this video, and was my main concern. They would have the name of the entity they were channeling. Now, I can say this, and I testify to this, that in the course of my life, like I was talking about the video where I just shared my channeling experience, is that, and remember, I was just saying, there are no words in that energy light, in that wave. There are no words. There is a message, but there are no words. It is through our own personal filters that we begin to interpretate what the energy wave has given us through our own filters. And one of the filters is the language itself. And so the words are formulated here within an individual. The reason why I say that, because every time that I've received a message, there's never been any name. Never. Not once. Even in the dream state, there has never, ever been a name. Not once. Encounters with dark entities, not once has there ever been a name spoken or given. Not once. So I can't vibe with that. I don't resonate with that. That when people are channeling, they challenge certain entities or beings. I find that interesting. Because again, why am I saying this? I go back to when the light energy wave comes that contains the message, you already know who it's from. You already know. But there's no name. I know when I receive a message from Satan. Oh, but there's no name. But in the human language, you say, oh, well, Satan is the devil, or if it's God, it's no name. It's divine. You know what I'm saying? If it's an angel speaking with you, there's no name. You just know that it's an angel. So you're really picking up on the energy, is what I'm saying. You have no idea what that angel or entity's name is. You know that it is an angel, and an angel carries a certain energy signature. I've heard that term used before here on YouTube, an energy signature, and that is their name, energy signature. Or if it's a dark angel, the dark angel carries a certain energy signal, and that's its name. But it cannot even then be interpreted in a person's mind that that entity name is XYZ. Like, remember I was like, when you get a download, you get the information, you get the message, and through our filters, we process and are able to, like a typewriter or a processor, a computer processor, process and feed the words in our language, whatever language you speak, I'm sure, if I'm getting it in English. But when it comes to that entity, is no words, it's no letters. It is, and so that leads me to believe that there are no letters that exist, no pronunciations that exist in this physical realm to capture the spirit, divine, angels, devils, demons, name. So that was concerning to me. Another thing I just wanted to talk about is, that was the really big one. That was a big one. Oh, and this, I guess I want to go back and talk about the event as far as this energetic light coming from basically out of space. Energetic light coming in from outer space. They say that this is going to be a time, biblically, King James Version, other little things like, different concepts like the rapture, you're going to see it coming in the clouds with physical eyes. You can see the light. No. And I'm saying this because remember, we're in an age of deception. It's supposed to be this great deception. I don't really know in detail about any other cultural, religious teachings on the subject. I only know mine. But even knowing mine and knowing what I know from a personal level, from personal experience, it ain't something. The light is not something that you will see with your physical eyes. Just like I was talking about, if God, divine, want to talk to you, give you a message. Now, he talks to us all. Let's break it down like this. He talks to us all collectively in the stars, the arrangement, their rhythm, their patterns of moving. He talks to us in the pattern of the astrological alignments. But then on the individual level, you can channel God or divine as well as any other entity. As far as a name, that name does not come through. We don't have the words or pronunciations or accents or whatever the case is to formulate a name of a being or entity. And when that message comes through, remember, there are no words, but the words are formulated or processed here through a person's intellect, Mercury, like that intellect, personal intellect. Then the light, the light. Like I said, it's not really a light, but that's the best description or example or depiction that can be given of that wave or the transmission, because it is clear, it is pure. And in that light, it is, it, not in the light is like the pathway of energy that carries the message. It's the message. It's like, and when I speak, sound goes out. So that's what the light means. It goes out, but it has no words. It is the message, the essence of the situation. And then once it is absorbed into the physical vessel that it is sent to, the physical vessel, based on their intellect, their own personal filter, computer processes it and comes up with the words. Why do I repeat that? It's because, God dang it. Oh, the light coming in from space. Don't be fooled. Don't be no fool. Is that you can't see the light with your physical eyes. It is a spiritual, a divine transmission. And hey, it is a divine transmission. It cannot be seen with the physical eyes. It is more of it's not even about has nothing to do. I can't say that it has anything to do with your sensory perception, hearing, smelling, tasting, seeing. It is something else that we as humans possess, and it is. And what is it? Most likely, it is actually our connection with the all things, God Himself, straight line, direct line. So it has nothing to do with our five senses. That five senses belong to this physical realm. When God talking, it ain't got nothing to do with that. I can even say when the devil talking, it ain't got nothing to do with that. But I can't say when the devil was talking, I ever seen like the white light. Even though it's not a white light, it is. I can only describe it as white light, but I don't see that white light with darker energies. Not to say ain't no shadow form of light, a dark light, if that makes sense. But the light, that's how you, like the light from divine energy is so pure, it's bright, it's brilliant, but it's not there. It's not for the physical senses. It is an experience. It's a divine experience. And anyway, I'm just trying to describe this because don't be no fool. You never know what somebody will use in this physical world in order to fill their own desires or whatever those desires may be. And another thing that I was looking at in some of the videos of people that, just everyday folk make videos, that they had some concerns. They were worried, fearful. This ain't something that you have to be afraid of. It rather is light or dark, but I'm talking about divine talking to us. You don't have to be afraid. It's not maybe after the fact. If you've never had it happen, you might be a little, thrown off, like, you gonna know exactly what it is, though. Like, things is getting real. But it's also an experience where after you've been after some time in the past, you'd be like, did that really happen? It might be something that many people won't even talk about. See, it's going to be kind of personal on some levels. Because you know how we are. We don't talk about a lot of stuff. We don't want people to think we crazy. So that's when I go back to say some things are going to have to be absorbed and digested. And then there are others, we can say more anxious folk like myself that may talk about it quite a bit because we've been there, done that. It's like second nature, you know what I'm saying? But my whole point is, if you see a beam of light in the sky, that ain't the message. That ain't the event. That's somebody creating an event. So, and remember, the event is ongoing. It's continuous. It's been taking place ever since the first man or woman or both were on this earth. Been there the whole time. The event is taking place ever since the proverbial fall of man from grace. It has been taking place whole time, and increasing because we opened Pandora's box, so we down here messed up. So that's divine intervention. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of people promote good health and dieting. Of course, that's a wonderful thing. You're supposed to watch your weight, eat good, and all that kind of stuff, but that is not relative to God, divine. That's not relative. He is not concerned about that. Now, when it comes to diet and eating healthy, that has to do with, again, this physical plane, this physical world that we have been set in. Yes, if you want to live, increase your chances of living longer, you should eat healthy. You should make good choices as far as, health-wise. You should go to the doctor. You should get therapy or psychological, whatever you need, yes, for this physical world. Because we know that the body breaks down. And so you got to do what you got to do here. But as far as the ascension process or the descension process, either waking up and allowing ourselves to be re-educated in order to bring back the state of heaven upon this earth, ain't got nothing to do with your fat, skinny, black, or white. Or the opposite, descension. Not wanting to be re-educated, not learning how God, how to hear God communicating with us, not coming to understand this physical realm and its rules, and how we who this world, this life is within divine, colossal being. There's no words. So don't let people scare you. Some people are afraid, because I eat wrong, or, I'm taking dope. You human, you in the physical world, you in the flesh, you doing it. I'm not saying it's okay, but that's part of this life, this experience. Some rise, some fall, and then, it goes in reverse. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. So your ascension, now as you begin to ascend, you become more aware, you become more enlightened, you may be more preoccupied with new things, better things, because you're being re-educated. So inadvertently, it may shift your diet and your consciousness and your awareness, but understand it ain't no requirement. That's a requirement of this physical world and the physical demands to stay in this world for as long as you possibly can. What else did I want to address? I guess I covered that already. Let me see. The light being, okay. Diet required. Yeah. Let me think real quick before I shut this video down. Were there any other things that I wanted to cover about the event? I can't think of any right now. I just needed to talk, to ramble, to rant, do what I do. If you have any questions or concerns, if you've heard about the event, let me know. If you have any questions about the event, just post them below and I'll respond if I know the answer or if I received any information about the answer to your question. Before I go, I like to request that you subscribe to my new channel. It has no videos yet. I need to get at least 100 subscribers before I upload any videos. So I do ask you to subscribe. The new channel is Heavens, '(S), Vital Fire. Heavens, '(S), Vital Fire. This channel, Can Angels Fly Here, will continue to move forward. But I'm just going to break up the subject matters. Tarot readings will continue here on Can Angels Fly Tarot. And soon and very soon, I will be uploading any metaphysical subjects to the new to my new channel, Heaven's Vital Fire. Thank you for coming here to Can Angels Fly. Until next time, bye.